这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的听力水平在生活中是完全够用的。要持续提升英文，记得点击订阅按钮。我们开始吧。
A whisper on the wind can change your life before you even see it coming. In a small port town by the cold gray sea, news did not travel by phone or paper. It rode on the wind. Ships came in with tall masts and tired sailors, and with them came stories. Some stories brought gold. Some brought fear. And some brought trouble. The town was called Fairhaven. It sat on the edge of the water, where fishing boats rocked day and night. The people there watched the horizon the way farmers watch the sky. The wind meant work. The wind meant food. The wind meant danger. One fall morning in the early 1800s, the wind blew hard from the east. The air smelled of salt and rain. A ship called the Morning Star was fighting its way into the harbor. The sails snapped like loud flags. Men on the dock pulled ropes and shouted. When the ship finally touched the pier, the whole town seemed to lean closer. On that ship was a young deckhand named Thomas Reed. He was only 16. With rough hands and sharp eyes. He had been gone for 6 months, sailing far south where the water turned warm and green. He had seen storms that broke masts like dry sticks. He had seen men cry in the dark. But that was not why people crowded around him that day. A rumor had reached the town before the ship did. A trader who came in days earlier had said he heard something in a far port. He said a big company from the city planned to buy all the fishing boats in Fairhaven. They wanted to build a large dock for trade ships. If that happened, the small fishermen would lose their work. No one knew if it was true. No letter had come. No law had been posted. It was only something someone had heard. Still, the words spread fast. People said, "I got wind of it from a sailor." Others said, "My cousin got wind of the plan in the market." The phrase rolled through the town like a cold breeze. To get wind of something meant you heard about it before it was clear or certain. Like smelling smoke before you see fire. Like feeling a shift in air before a storm. Thomas stepped off the Morning Star with a small bag on his back. Before he could greet his mother, 3 men blocked his path. "Is it true?" one of them asked. Thomas frowned. "Is what true?" "The company. The city men." "Did you hear anything down south?" Thomas had heard something. One night in a crowded tavern, he had been half asleep near a table of rich traders. They spoke in low voices. He caught pieces of their talk. A harbor. Cheap land. Strong winds. A small town with many boats. He had not known they meant Fairhaven. Now, standing on the dock, with his mother's worried face in the crowd, his heart beat hard. "I heard talk," he said slowly. Nothing sure. Just talk. That was enough. By sunset, the whole town believed change was coming. Fishermen argued in the street. Shop owners counted coins and frowned. The church bell rang that evening, and more people came than usual. They did not pray long. They talked. Old Captain Harris, who had sailed for 40 years, slammed his cane on the floor. "Wind carries more than ships," he said. "It carries lies too. We will not break apart over a whisper. But fear is light. It flies fast." 2 days later, another ship came in. This one carried a man in a dark coat with clean boots. He did not smell like fish or rope. He went straight to the town hall. Someone got wind of that as well. Before long, a crowd filled the square. Voices rose. Children cried. Thomas stood at the back, guilt heavy on his chest. Had he started this? If he had kept quiet, would the wind have passed over them? The man in the dark coat stepped outside. He raised his hands. "I am here to offer a deal," he said. "Our company wishes to build a trade dock. We will pay well for your boats and land. You can move inland. Start new work." Silence fell like thick fog. Move inland? Leave the sea? The sea was not just work. It was memory. It was family. It was graves and weddings and long nights under stars. Thomas saw his mother grip his little sister's hand. He saw Captain Harris staring at the water. A shout broke the quiet. "We are not for sale." Cheers followed. Then more shouts. The man in the dark coat tried to speak again, but the wind picked up. His words blew away. That night, the storm finally came. Rain hit the roofs like thrown stones. Boats crashed against each other. Thomas could not sleep. He kept hearing the trader's low voice from months ago. Cheap land. Strong winds. Small town. He pulled on his coat and ran through the rain to the harbor. The ropes were straining. One boat had broken free. It slammed into another. Wood cracked. Without thinking, Thomas jumped onto the loose boat. He grabbed the rope and tied it down again. Water soaked him to the bone. A wave almost knocked him overboard. For a second, he thought he would die in the black water. Strong winds. He understood then. The city men wanted the harbor because it was good. The wind that scared them was the same wind that made this place strong. Fishermen here knew how to live with it. They did not fear it. They worked with it. By morning, the storm had passed. The town was tired but standing. At noon, the man in the dark coat returned to the square. He looked less proud now. Word had spread to nearby towns that Fairhaven might be sold. Other buyers were circling. The price of the land was rising. Captain Harris spoke before the man could. "You got wind of our harbor," he said. "Now we got wind of your need for it." A small smile crossed the man's face. He knew the game had changed. The company did not buy the boats. Instead, they made a new offer. They would build a shared dock. The fishermen would keep their boats. Trade ships would pay to use the harbor. The town would grow, but it would not disappear. It was not perfect. Change never is. Some people left. New faces arrived. The skyline shifted. Yet the heart of Fairhaven stayed. Years later, children in the town would still use the phrase. When someone heard news early, they would say, "I got wind of it." They did not think about taverns or storms. They did not see Thomas tying ropes in the dark. Still, the words carried that past inside them. The phrase was born from life by the sea. Sailors lived by the wind. They watched it, smelled it, felt it on their skin. A small change in air could mean a safe trip or a broken ship. In the same way, a small piece of news could mean a good year or a hard one. So when they heard something early, before others did, they said they got wind of it. Not from paper. Not from proof. From the air around them. Even now, far from old wooden ships, people still say it. A worker gets wind of a new boss. A student gets wind of a test. A neighbor gets wind of a plan to move. The words carry that old sea feeling, that sense that something is coming. Your life has winds too. A hint from a friend. A small sign at work. A quiet change in someone's voice. You feel it before you see it. You get wind of something. What you do next is your story.
能以非母语者的身份专注学习到现在，这本身就是很棒的进步。真诚感谢你的观看。如果你觉得本期内容实用，点赞或留言让我知道你的想法，这对我持续创作非常重要。我们下期见。